AEW All Out didn't disappoint, featuring a number of terrific matches as well as a big surprise at the end. And yeah, just great matches scattered throughout the card, brilliant storytelling. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be an absolute banger of a show. And yeah, we're going to kick things off now. Just do a quick review of the 4 matches on the pre-show, and we started things off with Guevara and Melee versus Ortiz and Soho for the AAA mixed tag team titles. The match lasted about Ortiz and Soho chasing a newlie weds in a golf cart. After the match headed into the ring, it was Mello and Guevara who retained. I mean, like, yeah, poor old Sammy just getting run over again. It just seems to be a sort of Sammy thing, doesn't it? But you know, on the whole, this match was just a bit of fun to kick us off. Do feel like we've kind of seen it before though, so I'm going to give it a probably 6 out of 10. Because, you know, for what it was alright, quite entertaining. But yeah, maybe like a fresh feud for these two. And plus, do I really care about the AAA tag team titles? I'll be lying if I said I did. Anyway then, it was then time for Hook versus Angelo Parker of the Jericho Appreciation Society for the FTW title. Hook made short work of him in this match. After several judo throws, Hook locked in the Red Rum for the quick victory. And yeah, I mean, like, they were kind of teasing a bit of a feud between Hook and Jericho Appreciation Society, which I wouldn't be opposed to at all. But yeah, just in terms of the match itself, it kind of went the way we were all expecting it to go. Really simple win for Hook, and you know, no issues with it. Just continue building him up, and then when he does finally get beaten or have like a proper opponent, it'll be a big thing for him. So yeah, on the whole, this gets a 6 out of 10 from me. It was then time for Pac versus Kip Sabian for the All Atlantic title. After Kip Sabian's return, he got a shot at Pac's championship. However, it wasn't a successful return for Sabian as Pac retained after hitting a Black Arrow. But you know, that wasn't all there was towards the match. But Kip Sabian did get quite a lot of offense in, and for people, I don't know, who maybe aren't quite as familiar with Kip Sabian, I do think this showing would have really put him over, because yeah, some great storytelling. It wasn't a bad match at all. Tony Schiavone was interviewing Pac after the match when Orange Cassidy interrupted. Pac said Orange wasn't a professional wrestler. He called him a joke, setting up that feud one more time, and yes please, really really exciting for that. It's going to be a great match. So yeah, really pleased they're setting that feud up again. And then it's time for our final match of the 0 hour card. Eddie Kingston versus Tomohiro Ishii. Neither men held back and threw everything they had at each other. Kingston ended up winning after hitting multiple Hurricanes, followed by a Northern Lights bomb. And yeah, on the whole, this gets an 8 out of 10 match. For a pre-show match, this was just absolutely bloody brilliant. 2 men just slapping like as hard as they could. Yeah, it really did slap, and they're 1-1 now. Kingston tried to show some respect to Ishii after the match, but I mean, like, Ishii wasn't really a fan of that, so I guess they're setting up for the final match, which is just going to be a banger after the first 2. So yeah, good stuff. But anyway, it was then time for the main card and the casino ladder match. Wheeler, Yuta and Phoenix started things off. Yuta didn't seem to take long to get the ladders out. Phoenix set one up on the barricade and attempted to drive Yuta on top of it before Roosh came in and was all over the wrestlers. He took both men out and was in control of the match when his brother came in. Roosh and Andrade set up a couple of ladders in the ring before heading out to ringside to punish Phoenix. Both men went to climb the ladders but were stopped in their tracks. Andrade then hit Wheeler Yuta with a powerbomb through a table before Claudio came in and quickly cleared the ring. He saw Wheeler Yuta in a tough spot and blacked him up, but Dante Martin came in with a head of steam. After clearing the ring, he leapt from the apron onto a ladder to confront Wheeler, who was in the process of climbing. Martin then planted Yuta as the next man came out, who was Penta, and he and Phoenix went after Andrade and Rouge. Penta hit Andrade with a Canadian Destroyer through a table, as Phoenix hit Rush with a frog splash through the table. A bunch of masked men came out and asked the competitors now. One masked figure climbed the ladder and took the chip. He was unmasked and it turned out to be Stokely Hathaway. The Joker, another masked figure, came down to the ring and was handed the chip. The Joker refused to unmask before the exit, and obviously later down the line we saw exactly who it was. But yeah, just a really intriguing end. And yeah, for me, I think we all kind of knew the direction it was heading in, but really added intrigue throughout the card before we got our final reveal at the end. And yeah, just in terms of the match action itself, really, really great start to the show. Great quality action. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for me. Great start. It was then time for Hangman Page, John Silver and Alex Reynolds versus Omega and the Bucks for the Trios title. Page and Jackson started things off. Early on, Matt looked to be in pain, and Page stopped Silver and Reynolds from laying into him. Omega tagged in as the former tag partners faced off. Page had Omega in a headlock as he tagged in Silver. Omega and the Bucks then soon took back control, and Omega was all over Page, and he was isolated in the Elite's corner. The Elite continues to dominate the match, working over Reynolds next. Things finally broke down after Hangman Page and Kenny Omega came in as legal men. Matt Jackson hit a buckshot lariat to Hangman, but Alex made the save. John Silver countered a one-winged angel and almost rolled up Omega. Hangman then accidentally hit John Silver with a buckshot lariat, leading to Omega pinning Silver to win the titles. And yeah, 8 out of 10 from me. Great match, considering what it was. I think it was, yeah, did pretty much as good as a match they could do. And then the stuff with Paige and Silver at the end, where it will go, that's the intriguing part. I think the result we all expected. But yeah, lots of storyline intrigue coming out of a really fun match with the right winner. So 8 out of 10 from me. Jade Cargill then took on Athena for the TBS title. Athena charged at Jade and took her down. She then headed to the top rope and then hit the O-face, but couldn't get a free count after being pulled out of the ring by the baddies. Athena got back in the ring and Jade hit her with an uppercut before tossing her across the ring. Athena went for the top rope, but Kiera Hogan grabbed her foot. Jade capitalised with a running pickup kick, and Cargill quickly followed it up with a Jaded to pick up the victory. And yeah, gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I mean, like, it did its job really. I think we all knew where it was heading. I thought maybe Athena would have gone a bit of more a challenge kind of, but you know, for what it did, just calmed the hands down after that match, and did its job in a serviceable way, I suppose. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10 from me. It was then time though for the action to pick up again, with FTR and Wardlow taking on Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. Sabin and Harwood got into it early on, and they both got a nasty slapping across each other's face. Harwood took Sabian down with a shoulder tackle before taking down with a series of jabs, followed by a lariat. Dutt then tried to get involved from ringside when Harwood chased him around the ring and was punished by Sabian when he got back in the ring. Shelley and Wardlow tagged him. Wardlow went for a double powerbomb on the Guns, but ended up hitting a double suplex. Sanjay Dutt distracted the referee again as Sabin and Lethal caught Harwood with super kicks. Harwood was isolated by the heels, but eventually managed to tag out. Wheeler then sent Sabin crashing out of the ring, but Shelley caught him with a low drop kick. The finish of the match saw FTR hitting Shelley with a big rig before Lethal hit double Lethal injection. Wardlow then took Lethal down and went for a powerbomb symphony, hitting 4 powerbombs before finally pinning the helpless Jay Lethal. The heels had the ring surrounded after the match, but Samoa Joe's music hit and he went right after Satnam Singh. He floored Satnam before the heels isolated Sanjay. Dax Harwood's daughter also ran down to the ring. She snapped Dutt's pencil in half before her father floored Dutt with a lariat. And yeah, just a really nice ending to the match. I mean, like, on the whole, I thought it was a really decent match. Obviously, Motor City Machine Guns doing this route, they were really great in this match. And yeah, the right result for me, with a really good match in between. And then just the whole stuff, Samoa Joe coming back at the end, saying on that feud with Satnam Singh. Maybe I would like to see him have maybe a better feud than that. But you know, still great to see Samoa Joe back. And the heart stuff with Harwood's daughter at the end was just lovely as well. So 8 out of 10. It was then time for Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs. The grudge match started with Starks charging right at Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs then withstood the initial assault before quickly taking control of the situation. Hobbs punished Starks in the corner, driving his knee into the midsection before Hobbs suplexed Starks before mocking his trademark pose. Starks tried to hit back repeatedly, but Hobbs worked over his former partner's neck. The finish came a little bit out of nowhere as Hobbs' partner pinned Starks clean after hitting his patented spine buster. And yet did not see this one coming at all. I thought this would be the match to really put Ricky Starks over as a singles babyface, but it turned out to be quite the opposite. Big rub for Powerhouse Hobbs, but yeah, I'm really surprised by this. And to be honest, yeah, I mean, like, I'm just not sure if it's the right booking decision. Presuming nothing's wrong, because Starks, you know, he is a bit of a star to me. So yeah, on the whole, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. It was then time for Lee and Swerve versus the Acclaim for the tag belts. The champions dominating the opening stages. Swerve tagged out early before Bones saw Lee tagging in and tagging out. Matt Caster came in illegal round here, despite some trepidation, went for a headlock on the big man. Caster then went for a shoulder charge, but the former WWE star barely budged. Lee tossed Caster into the corner, but the young star countered with a Hurricane Rana off the middle rope. The Acclaim briefly cleared the ring. Lee tried to take back control, but Caster hit him with a cutter off the middle rope for a 2 count. Bowens tagged in and hit a suplex to Swerve. The Acclaim were in control at this point, but Bowens' knee seemed to backle after a move. Lee and Strickland then took advantage, both going right off Bowens' injured knee. Keith Lee flattened Bowens in a corner before tossing him across the ring. Bowens somehow hit back with a neck breaker off the middle rope before finally managing to tag out. Caster then sent Swerve crashing out of the ring before launching himself over his opponent. He followed up with a crossbody Keith Lee for a 2 count. Lee ended up hitting his own partner with a shoulder charge by mistake. The Acclaimed almost took advantage, but only managed a near fall, and the Acclaimed hit Lee with a suplex. Swerve almost capitalised with a Swerve stomp, but Bowens managed to kick out. Swerve then went straight for a submission hold, but Caster broke it up with a boot to the head, and Bowens then held up Swerve across the apron as Caster hit a mic drop from the middle rope. Caster then somehow picked up Lee on his shoulders and hit a Death Valley driver. Caster hit a mic drop to Swerve, but the last count was broken up by Keith Lee at the last second. Swerve then turned his attention to Bowens, so he took him out with a lariat, and Swerve accidentally booted Lee in the face, and Bowens almost took advantage of a roll up. Swerve and Lee finally finished off Bowens with a powerbomb Swerve stomp combo. And yeah, this was just a brilliant match. 8 out of 10 for me. For me, it far exceeded my expectations. I thought it'd be good, but not this good really. And yeah, like I say, just a brilliant match. I think even in defeat, the Acclaimed have really been put over. They've shown what they can do. So yeah, on the whole, this is brilliant. 8 out of 10. It was then Baker v Shida v Storm v Hayter for the interim women's title. Jamie Hayter probably went in as the underdog in this match, but she dominated the early stages. A mistake led to her crashing out the ring, and Storm capitalised with a drive to the outside. Baker then immediately took out Storm, and Shida took her out. Shida and Storm went back and forth in mirroring, changing strikes. For some reason, Reba entered the ring, only to be taken out by Shida and Storm. Hayter and Baker then isolated Shida on the back. Baker hit Shida with a curse stomp and laid her out. Shida was led to the back by officials, leaving Storm to the mercy of Baker and Hayter. Shida was seen back out and went after Hayter. Baker almost ended up pinning Shida after a roll up, but Storm broke it up. Hayter seems to have hurt her arm, but made her way up to her feet at the same time as the other three competitors. Shida and Hayter took out Storm and Baker simultaneously. Shida then with a Falcon Arrow to Hayter, but Storm broke up the cover. Hayter then hit Storm with a Tombstone Pile Driver. Baker came in and took out Shida with a curve stomp. Hayter and Shida then alone in the ring. Hayter took out Shida with a ripcord lariat. Baker then pulled out the ref to break the count. Storm blindsided Hayter with a Storm Zero. Britt Baker quickly took advantage by tossing Storm out and covering Hayter for a near fall. Toni Storm then took advantage to hit Hayter with an elevated DDT to pick up the victory. And yeah, on the whole, this gets an 8 out of 10 from me. This was just a brilliant match. 8 out of 10, yeah. I mean, such a shame that Thunder Rosa had to go away for a bit, but Storm, I think she was going to win the title anyway, and yeah, this is fully deserved, and yeah, just a great moment, 8 out of 10. It was then time for Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage. Christian was mouthing off at Jungle Boy's sister and mother, who were in the front row during his entrance, leading Jungle Boy's mother slapping the taste out of Christian. Luchasaurus then ended up turning on Jungle Boy during his entrance and slamming him into the part of the entrance ramp. The big man then powerbombed Jungle Boy into the timekeeper's area. Luchasaurus then rolled Jungle Boy into the ring, and he barely made it up to his feet for the start of the match. Christian then immediately caught Jungle Boy with a spear for a near fall. The veteran hit Jungle Boy with a kill switch to pin him. The segment match was, yeah, just brilliant as storytelling goes, and Luchasaurus, I think many people saw it coming, and in the end it came to fruition, and yeah, turning on him. I would have liked to see Jungle Boy get more offense in here, but you know, just leading on to another match where Jungle Boy overcoming. So 7 out of 10, good stuff, and yeah, quite like to see it goes. It was then time for Jericho versus Danielson. Danielson immediately out-wrestled Jericho, sending him rolling out to the floor. A frustrated Jericho tossed the steel chair out of his way before getting in the ring. Bryan took control once again, stretching out Jericho and wrestling down to the mat. The American Dragon then rained down right and left on the former world champ. Both men traded shots at this point before Jericho hit Bryan with a cheap shot across the jaw. He followed up with a backbreaker and a back suplex, followed that up with a cocky pin, which as usual failed to get the 3 count. Jericho sent Bryan crashing out of the ring and tried to follow him with a dive over the top rope. Bryan caught the former world champ with a boot across the midsection on the way down, following up with a running knee off the apron. Back in the ring, Danielson kicked Jericho across the chest, and Danielson sent Jericho crashing out of the ring and dived down, taking down the Lionheart. More back and forth between two as Danielson tried to lock into the bell lock. Jericho then hit a tombstone, followed by a hammering down with stomps on the former world champ. Jericho went for the Lion Tamer, but Danielson managed to move it with a triangle choke. Danielson couldn't get the submission and got caught in a Lion Tamer and broke out and hit the running knees for a near fall. He then locked in a cattle mutilation, but Jericho managed to manoeuvre out of it. Danielson started to rain down elbows across Jericho's chest, but the former WWE champ locked in the cattle mutilation once again, but Jericho managed to use all of his experience to reach the ropes. A frustrated Danielson continued to hit Jericho with kicks. He followed out with more elbow strikes across the chest before Jericho hit Danielson with a low blow, and when the rest of you was spotted, Lionheart quickly hit the Judas effect, and that's enough to pick up the victory. And yeah, gets 7 out of 10 for me. Really, really good match. I get the finish was, not clean at all. But for me, I just think Danielson had to win in this match. She's coming back and, really starting to build up again. So yeah, for me, I wasn't a massive fan of the result, despite the fact how brilliant this match was. So yeah, I'm going to have to give it a 7 out of 10 probably, when really in match quality it was potentially an 8 or even a 9 out of 10 with how good these two are. Next up was House of Black versus Miro, Darby Allin and Sting. Miro and Malachi started things off for their teams. Barak made a stringy start and tagged out. Miro hit Murphy with an overhead suplex and followed up with Uranagi. Miro then refused to tag in any of his teammates until Murphy hit Miro with a jawbreaker. Miro wasn't happy that Darby tagged himself in before Murphy with a series of kicks, but Darby hit it back with a headbutt. He then went and got a code red, but Black caught him with a boot across the head. Black followed up with a running boot for a 2 count before Brody tagged in and sent Darby crashing out to ringside before tossing him into the barricade. King then ragdolled Darby into the opposite barricade before tossing him back in the ring. House of Black were in control at this point, isolating the former TNT champ. Murphy then tagged in and hit Adam with a devastating kick strike across the head. Sting tagged in and hit Sting and smashes though to Murphy and King. Brody ended up hitting his own partner with a cannonball. Sting implored Malachi to tag in. Sting and Black traded strikes and the veteran then locked in a Scorpion Deathlock. Murphy and Brody tried to break the hold, but the Stinger roared as he was hit. Black finally broke the hold and locked in a knee bar. Miro broke the hold and Sting Sting hit King with a Scorpion Death Drop, and Darby followed it with a Coffin Drop. Murphy broke his own cover at the last second before Miro tags and cleaned house. Darby hit King with a suicide dive. Sting and Black were alone in the ring. Black went for his spinning heel kick, but Sting caught him with a face and the Black missed. Darby trapped Black in the last supper and got the free count for the W. Malachi Black reportedly bowed to fans after the match, leading to speculation that he may be off from AEW, whether it's work or not, who knows. You don't know really with AEW, are they? Do you? They're the masters sort of thing. But yeah, just in terms of the match itself, once again, just really, really fun. 8 out of 10 from me. You know exactly what you're going to get from Sting matches, and yeah, all of the time they just don't disappoint. Just such good fun. For me, probably the right victors, despite all the rumours, and we'll just have to see where that all goes, really. And you're going to see it was then backstage with Shivani. Jericho interrupted and said he'd proven himself to be the greatest pro wrestler in sports entertainer. Garcia replied Jericho won after GT. Jericho replied Garcia would be alone for his match against Wheeler Yuta on Wednesday night, and it just feels imminent for that speech comes. But then it was main event time. Moxley and Punk went back and forth early on. Punk then raiding chopped from a corner, followed by a roundhouse kick, and then a running knee in the corner. Punk hit the GTS, but Moxley kicked out at the last second. Mox then managed to roll out of the ring, but locked wobbly. CM Punk hit a top rope to the cedar before both men brawled into the crowd. Moxley and Punk exchanged a strike before the champion was thrown face first into a guardrail. The brawl back to ringside area. Mox sent Punk busted open and rained in right hands on the car ringside. Punk was badly bleeding as he rolled back into the ring. Moxley continued to punish the former world champion, raining down punches in the corner. Moxley hit a modified heel hook locked in on Punk's injured leg. The champion didn't relent, locking in a single leg Boston Crab. He converted it into an FCF before Punk clawed the champion across the eyes to break free. Moxley continued to work on Punk's injured leg before hitting a running dropkick followed by a dragon screw. The champion followed up with a pile driver for a near fall before Punk finally managed to get into momentum of his own, sending the champion crashing into the ring post. He then locked in the Anaconda Vice, but Moxley hit Punk across the head to break free. Punk brought himself some time with a heel kick and followed up with a body slam. Punk went for an elbow strike, but Moxley countered it into a bulldog choke. Punk broke free with a boot to the head, but Moxley locked in an ankle lock instead. Moxley then flipped off the fans and Punk surprised him with a boot to the head. The champ immediately hit back with a lariat before both men exchanged strikes and Punk hit a neck breaker. He went for the GTS, but Moxley countered it into a death rider, only getting a near for one deterred. Moxley rained down elbow strikes and locked a bulldog choke in. Punk broke free and hit GTS and immediately went for the second GTS and pinned John Moxley to win back the AEW World titles. The lights went out as Punk was celebrating, and the leader of Stokely Hathaway's faction from earlier in the night appeared, and it turned out to be MJF. He walked out and signalled he was coming after Punk's title at the pay-per-view. Went off the air, and yeah, this was just brilliant. The match itself, just starting off with that, that gets a 9 out of 10 from me. Non-stop action. Yeah, you didn't know which way it was going to go, really, did you? And yeah, just gets a 9 out of 10 from me. Brilliant stuff. I mean, it's a shame for Moxley to have to lose, but Punk for me winning and taking on MJF, it seems like it was the right decision. That's just going to be an absolute banger of feuds. It's a shame for Moxley, but just a brilliant match, and so much intrigue coming out of that. And yeah, happy to see Punk as a champ again. 9 out of 10 from me, just brilliant stuff. Overall, AEW All Out gets a 8 out of 10 from me, and yeah, I thought this was just a brilliant show. AEW at its best, so many great matches, so many intriguing storylines coming out of this one. I think kind of making AEW TV must watch for the next few weeks, and yeah, just a brilliant show, all round great action, some interesting booking decisions, have to see where it goes, but on the whole, just a fantastic night of wrestling. But anyway guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, leave us all comments down below, follow and thanks for watching the daily wrestling news, subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching, peace out.